طيب السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمد عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. أما بعد، إن أصدق الكلام كلام الله، وخير الحدي حدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل الضلالة وأهلها في النار. Indeed, all praise is due to Allah. We seek His help, we seek aid, and ask for forgiveness in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the evil of our own souls and from the evil of our wicked actions. Whomsoever Allah guides, there is no misguidance for that person. And whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala misguides, there is no guidance except by the will and permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We testify that no one has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone without any partners. And we also testify that Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Abdul Muttalib al-Hashimi al-Qurashi is the final messenger and servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Verily the most truthful of speech is the book of Allah, and the best of guidance is the guidance of the messenger alayhi salatu wassalam. And the worst of affairs is the newly invented matters, and every newly invented matter is a religious innovation, and it is placed in the hellfire with its people. We ask Allah to protect us from that. Ameen. تقبل الله منا ومنكم صالح الأعمال بقدوم هذه الشهر المبارك. We ask Allah to accept from us our righteous actions in the entrance of this great month of Ramadan. In this entrance of this great month of Ramadan. Walillah alhamd, inshaAllah ta'ala, we'll be going through the read قراءتنا من شيخنا Shaykh Abdul Razzaq al-Badr حفظه الله تعالى, may Allah preserve him. And this book is called وَجَاءَ شَهْرُ رَمَضَانِ. وَجَاءَ شَهْرُ رَمَضَانِ. The month of Ramadan has arrived. The month of Ramadan has come. وَجَاءَ شَهْرُ رَمَضَانِ. Al-Mu'allif الذي يعني by the great scholar Shaykh Abdul Razzaq al-Badr ibn Abdul Muhsin al-Abbad, the son of the muhaddith يعني muhaddith al-zamanina, from the muhaddithin of our time, Shaykh Muhsin al-Abbad. And this book, walillah alhamd, is a book, walillah alhamd, raha nafsiyya. It's a book that brings contentment to the heart, especially in a time, walillah alhamd, where the Muslim needs to know how to go about ibadat, how to go about spiritual ways of anticipating and going into this great month of Ramadan. It's an open book, and it does not لا يحتاج على الأفكار, a lot of thinking a lot. It's just something you take in, benefits walillah alhamd by the great scholar, that is to give us an understanding of this great month of Ramadan. It's not really a book of fiqh, what breaks your fast and not break your fast, but a book that helps the person, the Muslim, to go about the month of Ramadan. Everyone needs to be motivated. Everyone needs to know to go into the month in a correct manner, in a way which is pleasing towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not about ahkam, it's not riyadiyat, it's not math, it's not, inheritance. For example, ilm al-iratha, something that's difficult. It's just ilm, basic knowledge that benefits each and everyone. It benefits the old person, it benefits the young, it benefits the brothers, it benefits the sisters, it benefits the mothers, it benefits everyone. And everyone who's listening, this is beneficial for everyone. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we be from the people alhamd, that benefit from this great month of Ramadan. This is a great month, wa akhwat. And we ask Allah that we be from the people alhamd, that give our best when it comes to this month. I think the time duration was 1 hour, but that's too much for this book. Inshallah, 30 minutes, 45 minutes will be done. Unless we go into other discussions. And we ask Allah to protect us from speaking in that which displeases Him. Ameen. Ala kulli hal, The author, rahimahullah ta'ala, it is a book, inshallah, we won't make much ta'liqat, we'll stick to the book, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, and extract benefits as we go with the book, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Now, so he starts his book by Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, which I always say, which we always share with the students of knowledge, that this is from the adab al-tasnif, it is from the mannerisms of authorship. I mean, when he says, in the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most gracious. Now, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, he says, Inna alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. Basically, he goes about the khutbatul hajah, where he says, indeed all praise due to Allah, we seek His help. Wahakad, as I mentioned just now. And then he goes on to say, Amma ba'd, to proceed. Then he starts, he says, Inna al-ijtima'a للتذاكر الأمور الدين عموما والتذاكر مواسم الخير التي يستقبلها المؤمن لا شك أنه من الأمور المهمة التي ينبغي أن تحظى. He says that verily the gatherings يعني to remind one another about the affairs of the religion, to remind one another about the affairs يعني التذاكر مواسم الخيرات التي يستقبلها المؤمن. يعني verily these gatherings where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being remembered, number one, and where we are reminding one another of the religion of Islam. لا شك أنه من الأمور المهمة. Shaykh Abdul Razak al-Badr, may Allah preserve him, he says, لا شك أنه من الأمور المهمة. He says, and this, without a shadow of a doubt, this is يعني the most important of affairs. It is from the most important of affairs. Reminding one another. We'll speak about that just now, inshallah. مهمة التي ينبغي أن تحظى. And it's which basically, what can I say? It is ينبغي, it's upon the people. أن تحظى, meaning that they should come to experience this. Now, they should come and experience this and make benefit from it. لما يرتبط على ذلك من الأوائد الكريمة والخيرات العظيمة والمنفية الجم التي لا تعد ولا تحصى. وقد جاء في صحيح مسلم عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم خرج على أصحابه يوما وهم جلوس في المسجد يتذاكرون فقال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Now, so then after he speaks of the importance, like it's no doubt that sitting in these gatherings, in the circles of knowledge, where we are reminding one another and Allah is remembered. Now, he says that this is a good issue, it's a good mas'ala, it's a good affair that the Muslims engage in such manner, in such gatherings. This type of, he says, this type of congregation, this type of jama'ah, this type of gatherings cannot be counted nor calculated. I mean, it is wasi, it is great, it is azim. It is from the na'im of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Allah told us in the Quran, وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ. If you were to count the blessings of Allah, لَا تُحْصُوهَا, you will not reach a equal number, a fine number. That's what Allah said. So these sittings of knowledge, mashallah tabarakallah, Allahumma barik ala ahl sunnah, that when they sit in these circles, it's a ni'mah on its own, it's a bounty and blessing on its own. It's a ni'mah and bounty of its own. Ala kulli hal. Now, then he brings a hadith, a narration that comes of Muawiyah in Sahih Muslim. Muawiyah in Sahih Muslim. Now he's going to discuss the issue of sitting in the circles of knowledge. وقد جاء في صحيح مسلم عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم خرج على أصحابه يوما. It has come in the Sahih of Imam Muslim, for the brothers who are studying with us in the Darul Hadith. Now, what is Imam Muslim's name? Where's Juma? What is Imam Muslim's name? Abu Hussein? Muslim bin Hajjaj. طيب أحسنت جزاك الله خير. It's waking you up. Doesn't mean it's a dars at we were going to ask questions. A lot of people we know right now we're going to ask questions inshallah. طيب. So قد جاء خرج على أصحابه يوم وهم جلوسا في المساجد أو في مسجد يتذاكرون. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that comes in the hadith we mentioned the hadith of Muawiyah. It comes in Sahih Muslim. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam went to his companions one day whilst they were sitting in the masjid, reminding one another, يتذاكرون. فقال عليهم, and the messenger then said to them, صلى الله عليه الصلاة والسلام, he said, ما أجلسكم. The messenger said to the companions, why are you sitting here? Why are you sitting here? قلنا جلسنا نتذاكر الإسلام وما من الله علينا به. And these companions, they responded to the messenger عليه الصلاة والسلام. They said, we're sitting here to remind ourselves of the Islam. We are sitting here to remind ourselves of the Islam and the blessings that Allah bestowed upon us. Now, so the point we can take from the statement here of the Messenger sallallahu of the companions is that number one is tafakhur bil Islam. They are proud of the religion of Islam. Umar bin Khattab used to say, "Nahnu qawmun a'azzana Allahu bil Islam." We are the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had honored us by the Islam. Honored us by Islam. Now, وَمَا مَنَّ اللَّهُ بِهِ. And we always say from the greatest na'im, the greatest bounties Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us is the ni'mah of Islam. From the greatest bounties that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gave the insan is the bounty of the Islam. And that's why Umar used to say, نَحْنُ قَوْمٌ أَعَزَّنَا اللَّهُ بِالْإِسْلام. We are people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had honored us by the Islam. Allah extracted us from humanity. Allah has extracted us from nations and has made us to be the Muslims. And then the Salaf al-Ummah, what did they say? The likes of Ismail al-Muzani and likes, the Sahib al-Sharh al-Sunnah, they would say, لا أدري أن, which ni'mah, we do not know which ni'mah is better. أن الله جعلنا من المسلمين أو أن الله جعلنا من أهل السنة. They would say that we do not know which bounty is better. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made us from the Muslims, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made us from the people of Sunnah. There's no difference here. There's no mean that being the difference here. Sorry, the difference here is being a Muslim is adi. يعني ستفترق هذه الأمة. The Ummah will be divided into كم 73 فرقة. They'll be placed into 73 groups. That's a Muslim. ما أنا عليه وأصحابي. This is فرقة الناجية. This breaking the hadith. أو كما قال نبينا صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said ما أنا عليه. The people, the فرقة الناجية are the people who are upon what I am upon and what the companions are upon. And that is what we're talking about. Ahlul Sunnah. So the Salaf al-Ummah, they would say, Wallahi, they would sit and they would think. كان يفكرون. They would say, and ما أدري, we do not know Allah. أي نعم, which ni'mah is better? That Allah made us to be Muslims or Allah made us to be from the people of Sunnah? Because being from the people of Sunnah, you are from you are from the Ummatul Ijaba, number one, the Ummah that is accepted. And number two, also you are following al-Islam in its correct manner. The manner of the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, the methodology of he sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the methodology of the companions, the methodology of the students of the companions, Salaf al-Ummah. So these people are saying this is the ni'mah first. We acknowledge the ni'mah in the statement of the companions. We are sitting here. كُلَّا جَلَسْنَا نَتَذَاكَرْ الْإِسْلَامِ وَمَا مَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا بِهِ فَقَالَ. Now, and then they sit in to remind one another. And they remind one another of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which hadith also stems out from this hadith, which explains the hadith of Abu Hurairah. That comes in Sahih Muslim. Where he said, مَا أَجْتَمَعَ قَوْمٍ فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بُيُوتِ اللَّهِ يَتْلُونَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ وَيَتَدَارَسُونَهُ بَيْنَهُم إِلَّا نَزَلَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّكِينَةُ وَخَشِيَتَهُمُ الرَّحْمَةُ وَذَكَرَهُم اللَّهُ فِي مَنْ عِندَهُ. Where the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam said on the authority of Abu Hurairah, which is collected by Hajjaj man. Hajjaj bin man ya Jum'ah. La tanam ya akhi. Hajjaj bin man. What is Imam Muslim's name? Now, ala kulli hal, he said, ما اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت الله. Whoever, يعني ما اجتمع قوم, a people do not gather. من بيت من بيوت الله. From the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ما اجتمع قوم في بيت من بيوت يتلون كتاب الله. These people are learning about the book of Allah. يتلون كتابه ويتدارسونه بينهم. They are learning or reciting among one another, benefiting from the book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, making tadhkir of Allah, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يتلون الكتاب ويتدارسون بينهم إلا نزلت عليهم السكينة. Except for these people that Allah brings, yani sends His mercy, tranquility falls on, is bestowed upon them. وخشيتهم رحمة. These people, يعني the rahmah of Allah, the mercy of Allah comes. إلا نزلت عليهم السكينة وخشيتهم رحمة وذكرهم الله في من عنده. And Allah makes mention of these people, like how these people are remembering or mentioning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the sittings that we are in. This is the sittings of Ahlul Sunnah. As Anas bin Malik, he commented the hadith, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, هذه روضة من الرياض الجنة. The gatherings of sittings, of circles of knowledge are from the gardens of the paradise. So this is Bashara, ikhwan. This is glad tidings to the Muslim brother, to the Muslim sister, that these sittings are gold. Now they are expensive. Now they are worth greatness within itself. Now, so same thing, that hadith complements this hadith of Muawiyah ibn Sufyan. The hadith of Abu Huraira complements this hadith of Muawiyah that comes in Sahih Muslim that we read here. As the companion said, he said, كنا جلسنا نتذاكر الإسلام وما من الله علينا به فقال عليه الصلاة والسلام الله أجلسكم إلا بذلك وإلا ذلك. They said, then the messenger asked the companions, he says, by Allah, are you sitting here for that purpose? Then they said, Kunna. The companions, they said, we said, Kunna wallahi ma ajlasna illa dhalik. By Allah, we are only sitting for this purpose. فقال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Then the messenger عليه الصلاة والسلام then said, أما والله إني لم أستحلفكم تحمة لكم. He says, by Allah, the messenger now he's telling the companions, by Allah, I did not ask you to swear. I mean, I did not ask you to take the oath because I am accusing you. Tuhma, I'm not making tuhma. Tuhma means to excuse. Means to accuse. Now, so the messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam is telling the companions that I'm just asking. I'm not like basically saying you're hypocrites, wahakada. I'm not accusing you of that manner or anything. Then he says, ولكني أتاني جبريل فأخبرني أن الله يباهي بكم ملائكته. He said that, but Jibreel alayhi salam came to me and told me that Allah mentions you honorably to the angels. It's the same hadith we talked. The other hadith is making explaining the other hadith for the students of hadith. Now, the other hadith is explaining this hadith. Meaning Allah يتذاكرون ويذكر ربه. Allah remembers these people who are remembering Him. Now, Allah speaks about these people as how these people are speaking about Him. So the hadith of Abu Huraira explains this hadith, the hadith of Muawiyah. And then Shaykh Abdul Razak al-Badr, he says, فَهَذِهِ إِشَارَةٌ عَظِيمَةٌ. And also another point also here, that we take from this hadith, now before we go into the statement of Shaykh Abdul Razak al-Badr, now, is that, number one, al-ilm, دعوتنا مبني على العلم. دعوتنا مبني على العلم. Our da'wah is built upon knowledge. Our da'wah, the da'wah to sunnah, is built upon knowledge. It's not built upon kila wa qala. This, he said, she said. دعوتنا مبني على العلم, as the Salaf used to say. That these people, these are the companions, يتذاكرون. They are learning about the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It takes us to understand that the companions did not belittle these sittings, ya ikhwa wa akhwat. They didn't belittle these sittings. They sat in them. They benefited from these sittings. And also this tells you what? That the companions were learning from one another. Because the Messenger is asking them, do not belittle the sittings of knowledge. Give it time. Give it your ears. Invest in these sittings. Because this is your akhirah. So the da'wah to sunnah, mabniyun ala al-ilm. It is built upon knowledge. As the teacher of Shaykh Abdul Rahman Nasir al-Sa'di, what did he say? We know knowledge. What is knowledge? What did he say? Knowledge is ma'rifatul haqq bid-dalil. It is to know the truth by way of its evidence. Meaning that you have evidence of what you're saying. Insight. As Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi says, ilmun yubsiru bih. It's knowledge to give you the insight to go about the ibadah. To go about the ibadah. So sitting in these circles, or listening, or watching, or whatever you're doing, is beneficial, inshallah. It's your own good. The Messenger ﷺ told us of the people who seeks this path, and their Jannah is made easy for them. Who is benefiting? Everyone is benefiting. It's ourselves. If we come to the cities or we listen in, we are the ones who's benefiting in this world and the year after. And also another thing it highlights here, it highlights the importance of the establishment of the masajid of Ahlul Sunnah. Bayt min buyutillah, the house from the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It also highlights that point. It highlights the point of people establishing the houses from the house from the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So meaning that being the fact that we're talking about establishment, many people think of only finance, wahakada. Yes, it is the biggest talking point. Obviously, you have to use your money to build the houses, but also sometimes it's qawlun ma'ruf, encouragement, just encouraging it. Also, it's physically coming to the masajid of Ahlul Sunnah, sitting in the gatherings, if you can. Obviously, you have the ability. Now, you hear about Ahlul Sunnah, this side, that side, go and look for them. As Sufyan al-Thawri, what did he say? إِذَا بَلَغَكَ أَحَدٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ السُّنَّةِ. Now, if you hear about وَهُوَ فِي شَرْقِ وَمَغْرِبِ, if you hear about the people, a person of Sunnah, and he's in the west or the east, now, فَبَلِّغُوا بِالسَّلَامِ, send him your regards. وَأَسْأَلَ اللَّهُ الثَّبَاتِ, and ask Allah to keep him firm. We are in a time where Ahlul Sunnah qalilun, the people of Sunnah are little in number. They are strange. Especially when it comes to this month of Ramadan, you find the disputes of the rakat, of salawat, of tarawih, disputes of this, wa'akada. And when Ahlul Sunnah is teaching the people the correct manner, which is based on what the Quran, the Sunnah, upon the understanding of Salaf is upon, you find people find it strange. Ghuraba. So, if you know, you believe you are from the people of Sunnah, and you hear about brothers and sisters upon the Sunnah, you can reach out to them. Reach out to them. Ballighum as-salam. Give them your regards. And ask Allah al-thabat. Ask Allah to keep them firm. لِأَنَّ أَهْلُ السُّنَّةِ قَلِيلٌ. Because the people of Sunnah are little in number. Sometimes people need words of encouragement. قَوْلٌ مَعْرُوفٌ خَيْرٌ مِنَ الصَّدَقَةِ. Good words is better than the sadaqah. It's better than charity. So you find that the masajid are there. I mean, we have our markaz here, our kulliyat darul hadith. Walillah alhamd. Sometimes your presence is you're welcome. Attend our durus, inshallah. Benefit from the brothers and students. Even the students who are here, whoever is here, the teachers, be it the students, we need to be welcome to the people who come. Welcome them. Embrace them. Say, brothers, ahla wa sahla. As the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the hadith of Sufyan, what did he say to him? Marhaban ya talib al-ilm. He said to them, welcome, O student of knowledge. Embrace them. And this is the etiquette and the ways and the characteristics of people of Sunnah. So establishment in the masjid means that aiding them financially, aiding them physically, being good to them. Now we know in this country of ours, we know the number of Sunnah is very little. So encourage one another with khair. Be a part of people who start something that's good for the dawah tomorrow. Perhaps our children will benefit from it. So don't belittle the cities, do not belittle the people of Sunnah. وهكذا, the masjid might be looking big, small. وهكذا, come and benefit from the people of Sunnah. Now, not be it only the teachers, but also the students, also the brothers. There's always a benefit in the people of Sunnah. Always a benefit. Be it the sisters, be it the brothers, be it the people of knowledge. There's always a benefit with sitting with the people of Sunnah. Ask the brothers who know, who feel this type of iman, this type of remembrance of them. Now, as Shaykh Muqbil al-Hadi, Shaykh, the teacher of our teachers, used to say, Shaykh li-shuyukhina used to say that the people of Sunnah are the people who combat the batil. They are the people who stand and take responsibility to combat what is evil, the falsehood. And that's why we know Allah tells us in the Quran, وَتَعَاوَنُوا وَلَا الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. Allah made us to be from the people who come together upon that which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So remember, at the end of the day, you might not like someone where he comes from, but the fact that he is a person of the sunnah, wallah, he is your brother, she is your sister. Now, and this is upon us to acknowledge, wallah. We cannot be submitted to the people of sunnah and not having these basic etiquettes. These are very important etiquettes. Now, I'm come to the gatherings, you find the brothers greeting one another, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, smiling one another. We met brothers for the first time. And in gatherings as if though we met them for 100 years, because of the brotherhood of the people of sunnah, even if though they little. So wherever you are, be it in Cape Town, be it in Durban, be it in Johannesburg, be it in Pretoria, any part of South Africa, any part of the world. Now, not ta'assub li baladina, or not fanatical to the country, but we're saying that any country of the world, be it brothers that come out like ourselves who come to South Africa like that. Now, your brother is your brother, the sister is a sister to another sister. Hakada. It's not about you. Sometimes you gotta lose that pride. You gotta lose that pride and take away those differences. Now, and this is ta'arruf. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَكَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. And Allah made us, He made us into tribes or descents and hakada, لِتَعَارَفُوا, to come together, to make ta'arruf baynana, to come together, love each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your brother, your sunnah is your brother, sunnah, hold him firm. So aid the brothers. If you have the finance for it, aid the brothers. If you have the time for it, give your time. If you have good words, say good words to these people. Do not belittle them. Oh man, time. Hey man, hey Ramadhan, I want to sleep after Fajr. I don't want to be listening. Nah. If you don't attend, don't attend. But don't disencourage people to attend and listen. Don't do that. And remember that our way, we're trying to find the sound way, the way of the Quran, the Sunnah upon the understanding of Sahaba. That's our goal. We're following the haqq. We're trying to follow the haqq. We ask Allah, we are from the people of haqq. We ask Allah to place us from the people of haqq. Ameen. So now we said, this is important. It's encouragement of the building of the masajid, and also encouragement to basically people together upon al-Islami wa Sunnah. Now, and then the company said, وَمَا أَمَّا وَاللَّهِ. Then the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam informs them and says that indeed I do not accuse you people of your sitting. Rather Jibreel, told me that Allah mentions you honorably, to the angels. And this is bashara to the companions. And we hope also we get that bashara that we're sitting here for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فهذه, as we return back to the statement of Sheikh Abdul Razak al-Badr, he says, فهذه إشارة عظيمة لمن أكرمه الله تعالى ومن عليه الحفظ وقت في مثل هذه المجالس التي توقد في بيوت الله الذي أذن الله وجل على أن ترفع ويذكر فيها اسمه. Sheikh Abdul Razak al-Badr then says, this is an amazing affair. It's an amazing sign. آيات الكريمة عظيمة إشارة عظيمة. And whoever Allah is honored with a sitting in these circles, let them sit in these circles. And wherever Allah has given time, let them take time and let them give time for these circles. It goes back to what I was saying. Allah has given you time, use it in the correct way. Sit with people who will benefit you. Now, in these circles, hasten, come to these circles of knowledge. The way that he says that these circles that are established in the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we said that does also bring the point. It also brings the point where we said building the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Establishing the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where the circles of knowledge have been established. Which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered to be raised. التي أذن الله جل وعلا أن ترفع, that it should be raised, talked about. Now, تفخر, a person makes tafkhir. He's proud of al-Islami wa sunnah. He's proud of al-Islami wa sunnah. And then from there he said, where Allah's names, يذكر فيها اسمه ويذكر فيها اسمه, where Allah's names have been mentioned. So these are the houses of Allah that where Allah's names are mentioned. And that's why Shaykh Abdul Razak al-Badr said this is a noble thing for the people who sit in these gatherings. Meaning they be from the people where they are remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi rahimahullah ta'ala, may Allah have mercy on him, says, they said the best fast is the fast where Allah is remembered. The best fast is the fast where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is remembered. And we also know Allah told us in the Quran, أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنَّ الْقُلُوبِ. Yani by the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hearts they find rest. The Salaf al-Ummah will recite the Quran because why? They would know it's cure to the heart. Hudan wa shifa'an. It is a huda. It is a guidance. Wa shifa'. It is also a cure. The month has come to cure the individuals. This is the month of Ramadan. A Muslim is different to other months. As the scholars and teachers always say, come Eid, we must be tired. We must be, Ya Allah, Wallahu shahidun ala ma qul. Allah is a witness to what we say, wa ma naf'al, and what we do. So when Eid comes, we rejoice. We know that we tried. Only Allah knows. We don't walk out with fakhr, but we carry on our actions into the other months. هكذا كان يسنى السلف الأمة. This is how the Salaf used to establish and bring about themselves. Now, so he says, وَمِثْلُ هَذَا الْمَجَالِسِ. We turn back to the words of Shaykh Abdul Razak al-Badr. He says, وَمِثْلُ هَذِه الْمَجَالِسِ الْمُبَارَكَةِ لَا بُدَّ لِلْمُسْلِمِ أَن يَصْبِرْ نَفْسُهُ عَلَيْهَا. This is a very important point. He said that within the likes of these sittings, the sittings of what? Sittings, circles of knowledge, where Allah is remembered. It is wajib, or it's important. يَصْبِرْ لَا بُدَّ لِلْمُسْلِمِ أَن يَصْبِرْ نَفْسَهُ عَلَيْهَا. He said it's upon the Muslim brother, the Muslim sister, to be patient in the sittings. To be patient, to sit in these gatherings. Why does the scholar say be patient? Because it's not an easy affair to leave your bed, to take out that money, to take out that time, to come and seek knowledge. It's not easy. It's not an easy affair, wallahi. It's not easy upon anyone to be patient. We always tell this a word of encouragement to the brothers and sisters who are studying all the time. We always tell them it's difficult. We know it's difficult, but ask Allah to make it easy for you. Now, because working for Jannah is not an easy affair. It's not something that's easy. But Allah, the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, told us, إِنَّهُ لَيَسِيرٌ إِلَّا مَن يَسَّرَهُ اللَّهُ. Indeed, affairs are made easy, and that which Allah has made easy for them. So the individual here, needs to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for them. Same thing for the talib al-ilm who's memorizing the book of Allah. He asks Allah, he wakes up maybe qiyam al-layl, and he says, Ya Rabb, I want to memorize your book. Please aid me in memorizing your book. Istighfar. Person is seeking forgiveness, Ya Rabb. He makes dua, dunnun. He makes a dua of the sahib of the whale. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. As we know, Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi says, this is from the ad'iyah, that if it's said in a dua, the dua is accepted. It's most likely to be accepted. So a person seeks forgiveness. Nuh alayhi salam, فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرْ رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا يُرْسِلْ عَلَيْكُمُ السَّمَاءَ مِدْرَارًا. When he sought forgiveness in Allah, Allah brought the rain. وَيُمْدِدُكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ. And Allah brings wealth and children. Istighfar, ya ikhwan. Making dua. A person comes to a dars. Many of us, we started going to the durus, deep in the durus. Coming to the durus, we don't know what the teacher is saying. Many of us started like that. And we still find it difficult sometimes to sit in the durus. It's normal. But make dua, ask Allah to make it easy for you. Don't only ask Allah for a beautiful wife, a beautiful car, or a beautiful husband, but also ask Him to make it easy for you to seek His knowledge. Because ilmun yubsiru bi, it will give you that insight. You will know how to go about things. It comes from the hadith of Ibn Abbas, ihfadillah yahfaduka. Mean you are mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mean that when you are mindful, because you have knowledge. Khashyatillah, you have knowledge. You come into the circles of knowledge, you have that khashya, you have that the reverence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you are aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you are mindful of Allah, and Allah will protect you. As the messenger told Ghulam, who is the Ghulam? Abdullah ibn Abbas. He says, Ya Ghulam, inni uallimuka kalimatin. Indeed, I will teach you some words. Ihfadillah. Be mindful of Allah. Allah will protect you. Ista'in billah. Same hadith goes on. Says, Ista'in billah. Ask Allah. Seek isti'ana. Help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these sittings of knowledge, you need to ask Allah to help you. When people are writing that accountant exam or that law exam, they make dua. Now they make the same thing. You need to make dua that Allah makes it easy for you, that ilm enters you, and you drink it, and you apply it. حتى ترفع جهل عن نفسك, that we remove the ignorance from ourselves. So this is not a benefit for the students or the teachers, but it's a benefit for every Muslim. As we know, knowledge is wajib upon us. فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. It's an obligation upon the person to know the affairs of the Creator. هذا واجب. And everyone knows this. Everyone is, this is just hada, this is athkar, it's just remembrance. We reminding one another. We reminded one another. ومثل هذه المجالس المباركة لابد للمسلم يصبر عن نفسه يصبر نفسه عليها. The person is patient upon sitting in his gatherings. It is difficult, but force yourself. Give your all. And there's no better time to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like the month of Ramadan. Not running away from the topic. Still with the topic of وَجَاءَ شَهْرُ Ramadan. The month of Ramadan has come. There's no better sitting. There's no better way to begin your day with the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You go recite the Quran. If you have to go to work, you still have something you benefited at least. And the best time to spend the month of Ramadan is the masajid. أليس كذلك يا شباب؟ أليس كذلك؟ Isn't that so? نعم. ويقطع لها من وقته حتى يستفيد وينتفع. نعم. He says that this, a person, what does he do? ويقطع. A person takes from his time, utilizes his time in his circles. حتى يستفيد, and he benefits. وينتفع. Mean a person, he benefits from these sittings. And this is upon the Muslim brother and the Muslim sister to come with these affairs. And they can profit from this. They can profit from the sittings. They can benefit from the sittings, from the circles of knowledge. وإلا إذا كان لاهيا منصرفا مشغلا مكبا على أمور الدين التي لا تنهي فلا له معرفة الخير. Then he also says that this affair, a person he will be occupied and busied by the sittings. He is occupied and busy by the sitting and not distracted. And he is devoted. And for example, he is not devoted to the worldly affairs. He's not giving affairs to the world. He's not giving anything. And he gives everything to seek knowledge. He gives everything to seek knowledge. مُكِبًّا عَلَى أُمُورِ الدِّينِ الَّتِي لَا تَنْهَى فَلَا لَهُ مَعْرِفَةُ الْخَيْرِ. And there's only good for this person. There's only good for this person who comes to sit in the gatherings of knowledge to attain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِلَّا مَا يُرْضَى اللَّهُ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. You find that this person, that his affair or her affair of sitting in the sittings of knowledge is for them to benefit. It's for them to benefit and to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the day. Remember again, it's not just merely just forcing people to come to sit in these gatherings there's no reward for that, but rather you are pleasing your Creator in these sittings. It's for yourself. It's for ourselves, let me put it that way. وفي مثل هذه المجالس يتم التوجيه وتأتي الموئذة وتحصل الذكرى وإيقاظ القلوب والتوجيه إلى أبواب الخير. نعم. And in this type of sittings, in this type of gatherings, there is موئذة, there is discussions happening. وتحصيل الذكر. A person, he reaches the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Means constantly remember. وَإِيقَاظ الْقُلُوبِ. Mean that a person's heart is being rectified. وَالتَّوْجِيهِ إِلَى أَبْوَابِ الْخَيْرِ. A person is pointed out to the أبواب الخير, the doors of goodness. فَيَنْتَفِعِ النَّاسِ وَيَسْتَفِيدُ الْفَوَائِدِ الْعَظِيمَةِ. And these type of people are from the people who are raised and they benefit from they benefit immensely from these sittings. they benefit immensely from it. أما الموضوع الذي نحن بصدد الكلام عنه فهو إقبال شهر رمضان. Then the author رحمه الله تعالى then goes into this. He says that as for this topic we are currently discussing in the cities of knowledge is that which is concerning the arrival of the month of the Ramadan. As Shaykh Abdul Razak al-Badr says. As he says, that is way فشار قد أقبل. Then he mentions some statements here. He says أما الموضوع الذي نحن نتكلم عنه فهو الإقبال شهر رمضان. وكما تعلمون أنه قد بقى على دخول هذه الشهر المباركة. So basically, when this book was been documented or written or was said, was days before the month of Ramadan. So he says, as we know that we are about to come to the month of Ramadan. So I'm going to skip those words. أيام معدودة. He said there's a fixed number. There is a fixed number of days for us to reach the month of Ramadan. Now, so I'm going to skip that because we are in the month of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah. So he says فشهر رمضان قد أقبل وإقبال لدى المسلمين له شأن عظيم. Now, he said that the month of Ramadan is something that we need to accept. We need to give glad tidings to. It's an amazing time. وإقبال لدى المسلمين له شأن عظيم. Now it has a great sha'an. It has a great manzil. Means it has a great place, and that is the affair of Ramadan. And its arrival, the Muslim should be happy. Now the Muslim should be happy. وَيَتَبَاشَرُونَ إِنْدَ. They should give glad tidings about the month. We should inform one another. We should be proud that the month of Ramadan has come. They should make bashara, give the glad tidings of the great month, of the approaching of the great month of Ramadan, anticipating this great month of Ramadan. Because this month has unique qualities. It's a month that is specific, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قَدْ أَوْجَبَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ, like Allah has put and made it fard upon the Muslims. As Allah says in the Quran, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, indeed fasting has been prescribed upon you, كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُم, like how it was prescribed of the people before you. And kutiba, the scholars they said, furida. Kutiba here means furida. Bima'na furida. It means Allah has made it fard upon you. So the Muslim rejoices when this month comes together. They give each other glad tidings. Taqabbalallahu minna wa minkum. This is from the Salaf. This is from the ways of the Salaf. That they embrace one another when this month comes. They're happy. They share with one another time, gifts, wahakada. These type of things. So when this month arrives, it's upon the Muslim to do that. To take out their time and to give their best glad tidings when it comes to this month now. So he says that this is وَمَنْ أَكْرَمَهُ اللَّهُ جَلَّ عَلَى وَفَسَ فِي أَجْلِهِ وَمَدَّ فِي عُمُرِهِ لا يصير ويبلغ هذه الشهر الكريمة فهذه منة عظيمة على العبد ليشارك أهل الإسلام في قطف جناح هذا الموسم العظيم. So whoever is honored with this great month, whoever enters in this great month, and walillah alhamd, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given them the time, has given that opportunity to come with this month. Let them embrace this month. Let them go into this month with goodness. And that's why the statements of Ibn Qayyim al-Jawzi, he said that if the people of the grave were asked one thing, or I think it's a statement of the Salaf, I could be mistaken of the statement of the individual who said the statement, but he said if the people of the grave were asked one thing, if they were asked for what could they do, they would ask for Ramadan. So meaning that these Ramadan that we have is na'im upon the insan. It is a blessing upon Islam. How to utilize that? And as Shaykh Abdul Rahman Nasir al-Sa'di, he said, remember, from us having ilm, from us having knowledge, from us having iman al-sahiha, aqidat al-sahiha, and for us doing common righteous deeds, is understanding how to make shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To understand how to make shukr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, these are from the elements of happiness. Now, as also we'll come to that. But the point here is that you as a Muslim, or us as Muslims, we have to make shukr towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to be grateful towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how does a person be grateful towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? They come with ibadah. They come with al-ibadah. They come with understanding their religion and going about the ibadah. So a person, if you have knowledge and you have the correct aqidah, the correct belief, it's easy for you to actualize correct ibadah. Very easy for you. And even if you are afflicted by a trial, you know how to go about that. Because that is the affair of the Muslims. That is the affair of the Muslims. So whoever Allah honors this great month, let them give their best in coming with this great month now. Because this is a Mubarak Mawsim. It's a great season. It's a season of ta'ah wal iman, obedience towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and faith. وَتَقَرَّبُ إِلَى الرَّحْمَنِ. As Shaykh Abdul Razak al-Badr said, it's something that will bring us close towards the most merciful. وَقَدْ جَاءَ فِي سُنَةِ الصَّحِيحِ. طيب إن شاء الله تعالى. Let me stop at this hadith بإذن الله تعالى. نكتفي بهذا القدر. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we be from the people that Allah rewards us for the time we're sitting, the time we're benefiting, the time we recite in the book of Allah, and we learning from the sunnah of the Messenger alayhi salatu wassalam. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we be from the people in this great month that take the best of it. Take the best of it now. نكتفي بهذا القدر. We'll stop at this degree, and we ask Allah that He accepts from us our good actions. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.